What an oh so sweet day of women's basketball as the games have wrapped up in the Fort Worth region. But most of the teams that are supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing have done that. Now, again, for my bracket, like I said yesterday, Notre Dame was already on my list. So I had a pretty good bracket going into this. Nonetheless, I am Des with Pretty Girls Media, Pretty Girls of Sports, and here is my game day recap. Our first game of the day was Michigan versus Louisville. Michigan was coming in as their highest seed ever as the number 2, and Louisville as the number 3. Fun fact, every time that Louisville, well, almost every time, the Louisville comes in as the lower seed, they tend to lose. So they already had this history working against them, and unfortunately, it will continue today. The final score was 71-52. Now, looking at the final score, you'd be like, wait, Louisville did not play. They didn't play as a team that I've seen them play all year, and that is true in the second half of the game. The first half, they started off pretty fierce. They were doing what they needed to do. Although they did have some shot trouble, I did see them missing easy shots that I've seen them make before, especially in the ACC tournament. To me, my favorite player on that team, Amari Berry, came off, and usually she is the clutch player, and she just wasn't as clutch today. I don't know, maybe if it was the nurse, maybe it was the timing. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but I know that the team really needs that spark. She has literally been the spark on that court, and unfortunately today she just wasn't all the way there. But they do have a great season, and they actually have a lot of storied history that I feel like sometimes gets overlooked because they aren't in the winning brackets necessarily, but this team has been to 28 NCAA tournaments, and they have been to 15 straight, which is very hard to do. But Louisville has something there. They just have to get over that hump, that initial hump. I feel they've been to 13 Sweet 16s, and the last time that they were in the Final Four was in 2022. So they can get there. They just have to get there. Usually, this Louisville team is stronger on the defensive front, and that charge is usually led by McKinley Randolph. But unfortunately, today, Michigan had their number. Going over to Michigan and looking at what they had going on, they usually have about 3 stars that are sophomores who are usually in double digit points, and they definitely showed up on the court today. That is Olivia Olson, Mila Holloway, and Sila Swartz. They are their consistent shooters. When they show up big, Michigan wins big. And I think that that was proven here today. They're in their 14th tournament. So a little bit newer on the side, but they come from a history of historic wins and being in the winner's circle, and they want to continue doing that. And I think that they're definitely showing that they're proving why they were the number 2 seed. And I think that they are coming in with a little chip on their shoulder because they want to prove the doubters and the naysayers wrong. They want to add their name to the history books, and they are on their way to doing that as they're going to be moving into the Elite Eight. Now, the second game was Texas versus Kentucky. And I've been saying the past couple of days that this game was going to be a Texas home game. It was not going to feel like it was a playoff game. It's not going to feel like it's a tournament game. It's going to feel like it's a regular season game, and everybody's going to come in and it's going to be hook 'em horns, and it's going to be let's go Longhorns. And that's exactly what it was. All I seen today, I seen a few bit Kentucky fans, but Texas definitely dominated, and rightfully so. This is Fort Worth, and Austin is not that far away. I do want to give a huge shout out before I get into the logistics of the game. Sarah Graves, I know that she is one of the elite players. They're all elite on that roster, but she literally got a standing ovation when she joined into the game. So she is that Texas girl. She's from Keller, Texas, and when I say that the crowd is behind her, she has supporters. So whatever she does next in her career, she is definitely going to be successful, and she has a support system right behind her. But now let's get into the game because I know that's why you guys are here. So Kentucky is led by second-year head coach Kenny Brooks. And a fun fact about him, he is one of 5 Black head coaches that had their opportunities to grace us on the court of being head coaches of teams in the Sweet 16 this year. So congratulations and kudos to Coach Kenny. This is Kentucky's 19th NCAA tournament, and the last time that they actually appeared in the Sweet 16 was in 2016. And now they're going to be 4-3 in terms of Sweet 16 record. So I think I think with Coach Kenny, if he can get them, he's gotten them to the tournament now both times, and he's gotten them to the Sweet 16 this year. I really feel if they can lock in, get a couple more key players, and really just they need a defensive hot shot. I don't know if that's making sense, but they need someone who is going to be the stills and who needs the blocks, the person who is going to shut it down, because that's really where they lacked today. They tried to come back and they were missing key shots, but defensively, Texas was just all over them and they really stood no chance. But continuing on with their fun facts here, they are 0-4 in the Elite Eight, and the last time that they made it to the Elite Eight was in 2013. I will say that they did keep fighting, and I think that it showed a lot of grit, especially in that fourth quarter when they tried to surge back, but unfortunately it was just too little too late. They were shooting 37.3% from the field, 33.3% from the 3-point line, and 78.6% from the free throws. So free throws, they got it, but 37% is not good from the field, and that you can clearly see in this game. Defensively, Texas had a hold. Texas had the hold. They held the hold. They started off hot, and they just kept it. They kept it. Kentucky only had one lead of the game, and that was the first play of the game when they had a 3-point shot, and that was being the first 2 minutes of the game. And after that, it was all Texas, all gas, no breaks. And to be honest with you all, Texas was not even playing their best basketball. When you're looking at their stats, they were 54% from the field, 33.3 from the three, and also 33.3 from the free throw line. That's not the best that Texas can do. Texas has put up way better numbers statistically in the season, also in this tournament. So they're not even playing their best basketball yet. So if this is what we saw when they're not playing their best basketball, can you imagine when they are playing their best basketball what this team is actually going to give you? That final score was 76-54. Obviously, the stars on that team today was Roy Harmon, 11.7 rebounds and 7 assists. And then you had Madison Booker with 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. I think that's all we had to say there. But looking at Texas history, because it's a wonderful history, they have made it to 38 tournaments, 4 Final Fours. The last time that they won it, the only time they have won a national championship was in 1986, and they're trying to go for their second national championship. And honestly, this team could really lead them to that point. But the fun fact there is that when they won that championship, they were 34-0. And they became the first team in history to have an undefeated perfect season. So they led the charge and led the way. They're also at second when it comes to tournament appearances at 38, sitting behind the great Tennessee, who has 43. Now, I'm excited to see what defensive dominance they bring against Michigan when they play in the Elite Eight game. Great basketball so far, and I'm excited to see what these women continue to do and put onto the court. If you haven't locked into any of the content, please make sure you're checking out my game day articles on prettygirlsmedia.com, locking in on all social media platforms at PG Love Sports. And I will see you guys on the next one when I'm coming to talk about the Elite Eight. See ya.